Let's get the inside story on the Trailblazers this morning. Good morning, Paul Lindman, Scott Lynn alongside, and we are happy to welcome to the morning update, and in fact to Portland, the new general manager of the Portland Trailblazers, Neil Olshey, live on the morning update. Neil, welcome and good morning. And by the way, this weather we're experiencing this morning is much like what we have in the summer. Is it okay with you so far?
Well, seeing as though I'm going to be locked in the film room with my staff, I'm sure it's okay. You may want to ask my children that when they want to go outside and play basketball in the driveway in a month or two.
Does it really matter to you then? Well, you've come from one of the largest markets in the NBA, LA, to one of the smaller markets. What's it going to take to make this franchise, which has seen its ups and downs, as you know, into a winner?
Well, look, I mean, we're positioned really well. I think the important thing is, not to jump at B-level players in a free agent market and take away all your future flexibility. I think we want to build this right. I think we want to be patient and, have a sustainable growth model instead of just a flash in the pan. So when you look at 2 picks in the lottery, we have cap room, we've got some quality free agents, we've got the rights to some guys overseas that can contribute. But like I said, I want to build this thing so that we can have a 5 to 7 year run where we've got a core group of players that are developing, moving to the future, and then we can tweak here and tweak there when opportunities arise.
Neil, you're just back from Chicago at the NBA pre-draft camp. Now you're bringing players into Portland for evaluation. We know you can't talk specific players, but generally speaking, how important is it for you to personally see these players with your own eyeballs?
Oh, it's imperative. But I have, and so have the guys that are already here. I mean, it doesn't matter where your draft picks are. I mean, you're still scouting as if you're going to have, picks anywhere 1 through 60 because you never know when a deal is going to arise. So, no different whether I was based in Los Angeles or based in Portland. I was still tracking these guys from the time they were in high school all the way through their college careers, and it's actually more productive because I come from, bring one mindset. The guys that are here bring another, and there's actually better dialogue because we haven't formulated consistent opinions based on just through osmosis because we're around each other all the time. So it's really inspired some really, some interesting debates. And, like I said, we'll hash it out over the next couple of weeks and look at film and do the draft workouts and interviews and, be really active on draft night.
Unlike recent years, you're not revealing who's coming in for workouts, and we're not offended by that, but only when the doors open to the media are we going to find out who's involved in working out for the team. What's the thinking there?
Well, I mean, look, this is a working environment. You don't if you were sitting in a Wall Street office, I mean, they wouldn't release what stocks they're going to push the next day at the trading desk. There's plenty of time. The media can come in; they'll get bios on the guys. There's no reason to have it a night early. Our workouts are for us. They're for us to see. They're for us to evaluate these kids. It's not fodder for the internet. And what you end up doing is getting into trouble. Agents find out somebody bailed out, somebody new is in the workout, who the matchup is, and you spend more time doing damage control about the workout itself instead of looking at it like for what it is, which is a vehicle to analyze players.
Your point that you're not after a quick fix, but something that will last over several years. From a fan's point of view, does that mean we can't make the playoffs every year as we go?
Well, I think the goal is to always be a factor in the Western Conference. I think, we ran into a model in Los Angeles where we were constantly scrambling, trying to piecemeal things together with no consistent vision at one point. And, what ends up happening is you have a bunch of aging veterans and you're not good enough to win a championship and you're not good enough to have great draft picks. So I think what we try to do, and I think where we are in Portland right now, is we're in an asset acquisition phase. We're going to acquire as many assets as possible. We're going to build up our war chest of players. And, if those players develop into a great young nucleus that can win a championship, we'll stay on that path. If it gets to the point where we can push our chips into the middle of the table and go get a superstar player via trade or free agency, we'll do that. But, the most important thing in this business is cap room and assets. And you need to have both, and you need to use both, both wisely. And I think when you see the models around the league, I mean, we've got 2 teams competing in a championship with completely different models. We've got one with the superstar model in a desired market, and then you've got a team in a smaller market that built through the draft, but they're both competing for a championship. So I think as long as we play the right way, we compete, there's a vision, there's a destination for this roster, I think people will get behind the organization and support it, knowing that the future is going to be really bright.
Neil Olshey, new general manager of the Trailblazers. We're glad you chose Portland, Neil. Thanks, and let's talk again down the road often.
Great. Thanks. Have a good week, guys.